Wasn't it?
Who's in charge? Starting with a prayer and so forth.
Head of the reins.
See the,
25. 10:25.
I still got 3 more minutes. I put the glass on that I can see there, and I can't see. Okay.
Just lead higher legal.
Hmm?
Lead higher legal.
It's Leah Hona. Not today.
That handout is just pictures before the slides.
Where is everybody? Is this not Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
It's the
Okay.
18th.
Let's go ahead and start. Can we have a volunteer for a prayer?
Our Father in heaven, we're so thankful for the many blessings which thou hast given us. We're thankful for the gospel. We're thankful for the opportunity to provide this saving ordinances for our families and friends. And we ask, as we study today, we ask thy Spirit to attend us here, that we will be able to understand and integrate into our activities the information that's going to be conveyed to us today. We're so thankful for all thy blessings, and say this in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Okay, thank you. There's a little handout there on the table. Okay, before we start, I'll introduce myself a little bit. So first off, I had a cold about 2 weeks ago, lost my voice. It's just starting to come back. So if I start losing my voice, I might point to somebody to read the slides. I put all my commentary are on the slides, so you'll be able to participate by reading the commentary that normally is hidden from the participants. So this slideshow is built so that you could actually take this slideshow and present it yourself if you want to. It'll be available. We'll make it available on the website so that you can use this and present it just by reading the pop-up dialogue. Okay,
Make it available on the website.
on the Family Search Center website, this center's website,
Okay,
okay?
I haven't looked for anything like that, so. it's-
All of these lessons are all recorded and they're all available on there. So you can go back and actually watch the presentation again, or you'll be able to have access to slideshows so you can present it
Okay.
yourself. This slideshow is prepared in Google Drive and Google Slides, which is free for anybody that has a Google account. So if you have a Google account, you can do slideshows like this, make your own, or just present some that you already have. Okay, my name's Gary Turner. I've been doing family history since I was about 14 years old. I lived in Fillmore, Utah at the time. We used to go up with my grandmother looking for, I remember going up 4 or 5 times to the family histories library, which was in the church office building at the time, looking for Anne Rag. We made multiple trips and looked through hundreds of microfilms before we finally found her. Now, you can find a name in seconds. And back then, we had to go through rolls after roll after roll of microfilms. So family history has really changed. And Pozilla has actually really changed how you can see your family. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. Okay, what is Pozilla? You need to think of it as 2 new charts for family tree. It's not its own service like ancestry.com or other services like that. It actually is just showing you family search data in their type of charts. So there's an ancestor chart and there's a descendant chart. And there are ancestor charts and descendant charts already in family search, but these are a little bit different. We're going to learn what's different about them. Before we talk about Pozilla, let's look at the similar charts in family search and look at record hints in family tree. Is there anybody here that's not familiar with what a record hint is? Okay. What is a record hint? Can we have somebody that would volunteer to read that box? Will you read that? What is a record?
Okay, what are record hints in family tree? Record hints are historical records that the family tree artificial intelligence software finds for you about your ancestors. Family tree conducts this search automatically. These records come from the indexing program.
Okay, and there's actually millions of new index records added every week. And as they are added, this artificial intelligence software goes out and looks at them and finds who they belong to and attaches a record hint to that person's account. They claim to be 90 to 95% accurate.
Okay, I was wondering, how do they know if it's right or not?
You have to be the one that determines it.
Okay.
A relative has to
So
determine.
they suggest these as.
They say, based on the software, this record hint looks like it goes with this person. They claim they're 90 to 95% accurate. I think that a lot of them are that accurate, but there's different kinds of records, and a lot of them are not that accurate.
But does the computer doesn't know, the AI doesn't know if they're already attached, correct?
Yes,
So
It
you don't
does.
just attach it.
it does not look at records that are already attached.
So
It
if
only
you
looks
just, oh,
at,
that's him, I attach it, well, now there's.
well, actually it does.
It
It actually does look at some that are already attached, because I've had some that come up and say they're already attached. So yes, it looks at records that are already attached,
Then why do they tell us, hey, you want to attach this if it's already attached?
because it might be attached wrong.
So
If the record looks like it fits your person, and somebody's attached it to another record, it'll show it to you and say it's already attached to this other person. You may have a duplicate person.
But if you have if it's the same, I don't need to attach it.
Huh?
If it's the same record, if it's a duplicate record that AI has found, what's the advantage of me? Yeah, that's my guy.
It's not gonna say it, it's not gonna have you attach it if it's already attached to your person.
Then why would it send me a hint that
It'll send you a hint if it's attached to a different person and it thinks it belongs to you instead.
So
your
everything
person.
that comes to me that says, hey, this might be your guy.
This might be your
They've
guy.
already checked, the AI has looked at it because it's.
That's not already in
attached.
your attached. It's not already attached to your guy.
So I'm not adding.
You're not adding duplicates.
Okay.
Now you will find there are duplicate indexes. The same data gets indexed multiple times. And you may get a hint for the same record that has been indexed more than one time. And you would want to attach it both times it's indexed.
My understanding, there's different computer algorithms,
Mhm,
and they may pick up the same record
mhm.
for you to attach, and if you do not accept it, that algorithm, that computer program thinks that, oh, that's not their person, so they won't send you anything more. That was my understanding.
No, I don't think that's the case. Okay. Why do we want to review and attach these record hints? Will somebody read those 5 reasons that I have come up with, and you could come up with any others? Would you read those?
Verify that the hints belong to our family. We provide sources for our work. We learn more about our family. We find a new family members. We find proof of relationships.
Okay. Any other reasons we might want to attach a vital record to a person? Okay. Now, a vital record might mention 5 different people in it. You attach that record to all 5 people. Everybody that's mentioned in the record gets attached to that person. So if the record is a marriage record for a man and wife, and it lists the names of the parents, you should attach that record to parents too, because it's proof of relationship to that parent. And Family Search automatically gives you that option as you attach records. Okay,
Question, so, but we have to manually attach it to each separate one.
right. Okay, this is how we look at ancestors in a landscape view in Family Search. The person, your person that you have selected right here is George Andrew Hatch on this example. He has parents, grandparents, and then once we get out 3 generations, we can go out 1 line at a time. So we can go out Enid Rollins' line, his parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. So out here, Josiah Clark, this is one of my ancestors. If we click on that, we can start a new tree with him as the start person by clicking tree when this pops up to the side here. So now here's his, and we can also go down. We can go children down 1 generation at a time. Is everybody already familiar with this? Because this is Family Search stuff, not Pazilla stuff. Okay. We can extend descendants down one line at a time. So Josiah, we're only going down this line right here, James and his children, and then we're going down on this one, Joseph's children, and then we're going down George's children. Here's George's 5 children. It also shows the spouses. Okay. In these charts, we can see the record hints. They look like this blue circle with the thing that indicates that there's a record hint for that person. See all the record hints that are here?
Mhm.
When you click on one, it shows you there's 3 record hints for this person right here. You can click on these and open them up and look at them, the record hints. Okay, they're everywhere in Family Search. Okay, here is the descendancy view. Anybody not familiar with this view?
Sort
This
of,
is in Family Search.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a descendancy view, and over here on the left are those record hints for that person. You can see it. As you expand these out, they move out into the screen ways. Okay, or you can adjust the size of your browser so that you're not got such a big gap between them if you want to. Okay. Okay, this is a person page. Everybody should be familiar with the person page. In research hints, that's where the record hints are shown for the person in this view. There's a record hint right there for William Clark. It's an England birth or christening record. And so we've seen record hints in the ancestry chart. We've seen record hints in the descendancy chart, and here we're seeing record hints on the home page. The same record hints are in all three places. If you go to this person on an ancestors chart and click on the little button, it'll show you the same record hint that you're seeing in the person page or in the descendants page. Okay, any question on that? All right, when you click on a record hint, it opens a review screen to the side. So if I click on this right here, this bind to grave index, it pops up over here to the side to show you some of that information. If you want to review it further and compare it side by side to determine whether you want to attach it, you click this button right down here, review and attach. When you click there, you come to this screen. This is the record hint review and attach screen in Family Tree. Okay. On the left side is the vital record side. On the right side, before we do that, right there is a link to see the vital record itself. If you click on that link, it pulls up the vital record and you can zoom in. There's the vital record that this document that you're looking at is based off of. So this is the indexed information from that vital record we just looked at. On the right side is the family tree person that the AI says, this is the same person as this, I think. And they think it's 95% chance that this is the same person. And if you agree, then you can add this information and you can attach this record to this person. And then you can review it for the other people on the record. And here's a new person. You can click add and add a new person. Now that new person was born in 1936, so you can't add them unless you have a death date. But if you have a death date, you can add that new person. Okay, that's the family search side. Now the focus person is the one below this blue line here. So this is the focus person, John Buber, is that what it says? John Buber. Okay, the focus person is the person that you were comparing here and here, and the focus person can be changed. Okay, the relationships shown on this side of the screen on the family tree side are based on the focus person on this side of the screen. So down here, it'll say that this person is a spouse or a wife. And if there was a child, it would say this person is a child. If you change the focus person to the wife, it would say the husband here and would still say child down here. On this side of the screen, the relationships are not necessarily the focus person. They're based, the relationships are based on how they were indexed. So if this was the head of household, then he would be indexed as the head of household, and this would say he's a spouse. This would say he's a child. If you change the focus to that wife, it would still say, it wouldn't say that this is her husband necessarily. Okay. Now, there are links throughout this page where you can look at all kinds of information. You can see almost everything about the family search side and the vital record side by following all of these links. You can open up children, you can open up details about the vital record. If you click this details, it'll open up the details about this part of this person in the vital record. All of these links do something. And it was not going to hurt anything for you to click those links and look at them and see what they do. But you can see anything about this vital record, anything about this family tree using these links. Okay, now let's look at these same records from a Pozilla chart, okay? Before we start, if you're trying to do this at home, most of the computers here at the Family History Center have already been fixed, but using the Chrome browser, which is the one that's that Family Search and Mozilla work best in. They will work in other browsers. They'll work in Safari. They'll work in Internet Explorer. They work best in the the Google Chrome browser. And the Google Chrome browser defaults to blocking pop-ups. Pop-ups had a real important function when they were originally created, but advertisers said, hey, we can make a pop-up happen just by having somebody open a page. So you start getting advertisements popping up all over the place, and it kind of ruined pop-ups. So they just default pop-ups are off. So both Family Search and Mozilla use pop-ups. So if you click on something in Family Search and nothing happens, it could have blocked your pop-up. If you click on something in Mozilla and nothing happens, it could have blocked your pop-up. So what you have to do is go into settings and allow Mozilla and Family Search to do pop-ups. You just click on these three dots in the upper right corner, go down to where it says settings, click on settings, over where it says privacy and security, down to site settings at the bottom, and scroll to the bottom where it says pop-ups and redirects. Click on that, and don't turn on all pop-ups or you'll have advertisements everywhere you go. Okay, just go down to the bottom here where it says allow to send pop-ups and redirects and add families. Click the add button, add familysearch.org and add Mozilla.org. And then you only have to do this once. And then from then on, Mozilla and Family Search will be allowed to send you pop-ups. Now instead of doing pop-ups like they used to, I don't know if you've noticed some of the pop-ups used to come up in the center of the screen. Quite often they now come in a different tab at the top. So the pop-ups come up in a tab, and then when you're done with them, you just close that tab. Okay. Mozilla is a website used to view Family Search people in a new way. Okay, it came out in 2015, and there's only been a few changes since it came out. I have been teaching about Mozilla since 2015. Mozilla is now a premium partner for Family Search, and what premium partners do is they provide their service free in Family History Centers. So you can use the full function of Mozilla free here in the Family Search Center. If you want to use it at home, there's limited functions you can do for free at home. Otherwise, you have to subscribe to the service in order to use it at home and use all the premium services. Okay. That's what this says. All premium services are free in the Family History Center. To use Mozilla, you have to log in to Family Search through Mozilla. If you're already logged into Family Search, when you open Mozilla, it'll say log out up here, and you'll have to log out and log back in. Otherwise, it doesn't connect the two charting systems together. Okay, so you just click on this, and when you click on it, it takes you right to Family Search so you can log in. You log in with your Family Search username and ID. You don't have to have any separate credentials or anything for Mozilla. Just log in. And when you log in, the first chart loads, which puts you at the bottom. And this is the first chart. This happens to be a 6th generation chart. All of the blue dots are males, red dots are females. So this would be me at the bottom. This would be my father and mother, my mother's father and mother, grandmother's father and mother. Can you see how that's? Okay. Why would you want to look at a bunch of dots? We'll get to that in just a second. Okay. This is a 6th generation chart. You can adjust these charts up to 12. Okay. If you hover your mouse over any of these dots, it'll show you up here in the corner, or it'll show you this box right here with information about that person. If you click on it, then that box stays. If you don't click on it, the box goes away when you move your mouse off of the dot. Okay, So this is me right here at the bottom, at the very bottom. And the very bottom person is always listed here. So even if you're looking at a different person with a different pop-up, it's still going to show the primary person up here. Okay?
Now, the ID number is a temporary number, right?
This ID number.
Because you're
that is-
alive.
That ID number is the family search ID number. Everything in here is family search data. There's no, it doesn't
Right,
make up any new stuff.
But anybody that's alive,
Alive, it's
a temporary.
it's their temporary ID number.
Yeah.
Right, and it's gonna show you any that you have created. It's gonna show the number it created for your living people. Okay. So you don't have to do anything for this to show your people. You just have to log into it. Okay. So right here is my third great grandfather, Ichabod Rollins. If I want to make a chart starting with him at the bottom, all I have to do is click right here where it says ancestors. With him clicked, and there he is. He's at the bottom now. See his name there at the top. That's Ichabod. This is a chart for another 6 generations, starting with my third great grandfather. Now this is my 5th great grandfather right here that we're going to look at. Do you have a question?
I'm related to you. He's Ichabod Rollins is my direct ancestor.
Okay, we're cousins. So we'll be looking at your family today. Okay? Okay, so what I like to do when I'm doing a chart like this is I like to go out and go way back and then come down. And I'll show you how we do that. If you click on that person, I mean, this person was born right around 1700. The most vital records that are available online are between 1800 and 1850. There's a few before and there's a few after, but 90% of the vital records are here. So when you're looking at these charts and you want to find new people, you want to try and find people living between those 2 days. So if I go back to 1700 and then from that chart, pick somebody that was born mid 1700s, they're going to live into the sweet spot where all the vital records are. So I'm going to select Josiah Clark, who is her ancestor and mine. And then we're going to look at his descendants. See the descendant button here that pops up when you click on him? Okay. This is his descendant chart. Now it doesn't load that fast when you're on the computer. You have to wait for it to load. It might take, sometimes it only takes a few seconds, sometimes it takes a minute or more even. This particular chart right here is a descendant chart of my 5th great grandfather, Josiah Clark. Okay, see the yellow line there? That's my direct line. That's where I come up the chart. These are his, starting with him and going down the chart. Okay, see my ancestral line? Now that yellow line can be different if you're working not directly from your line, or if you jump to somebody else's line and then start looking at charts, that goes down to the primary person that you're starting with. Okay. The person in the center is the person that is the parent or the primary person that we've selected. This row of dots are his children. There's 1 dot for each of his children. You can see the color shows what gender those children are. This is the children of those children or his grandchildren all the way around here. This is great grandchildren. This is great great grandchildren all the way around the outside. Now this chart has so many people in it, you can't even see all the dots, right? Let's zoom in a little bit on this chart. See how close the dots are together here? There's 5 people right there in that little teeny spot. There are thousands of people in this chart. This chart has around 3,000 descendants, all shown on the screen at once. You can remember this screen here. This has 29 descendants. If you want to look at this screen, what it would look like in this chart, there it is right there. Those 5 little dots right there are these 5 children, grandchildren right here. There's 29 descendants on this chart. And there's the 29. You count those dots, you'd have the 29 dots. But there's 3,000 descendants that he has. but your line goes up this way. Okay? Now, I'm gonna show you how to make charts with fewer people so that it's easier to work with. Okay? So I'm gonna pick Mary Rollins, who was born in 1760. So she's gonna live into 1800, right? And all of her children are gonna be in that time frame. We're gonna make a new descendant chart starting with her just by clicking this. The old one's still there in the tab, but the new one is right here. Now this chart starts with Mary, right here in the middle. She was born in 1760. There's now about 400 people in this chart, and every dot can be accessed if we need to. Okay. It's much easier to work on a chart when you can access every dot. Okay. Now, we can make the chart even smaller by using this function right here, hide or show a line. So see that line there, this child? That child's descendants are all shown, are all of these. I can hide all of those and the chart will redraw with that line hidden. All we have to do is click this hide button. Now let's do one more. All of these people can all be hidden in just by clicking this. There's the plus, says that this line's hidden and this line's hidden. You want to hide them, it's hide show button, so it toggles on and off. Just click it and click this and it will reappear. But now we're down to, I don't know, maybe 180. So you can see where all the dead ends are. And we'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so now let's go back. This is that 4-generation chart again with about 400 people. You can also change the generations. Change this down to 3 generations. And now you're down to a smaller chart as well with all of the lines represented. Okay, now these are the 3 functions that you can use at home for free without having to buy an account or subscribe to the account. And we're going to talk about these 3 buttons first. Okay. This one, born less than 110 years ago. There's one there, and there's 2 or 3 of them right down here. Does anybody know why 110 years is significant?
Because you can't do work for them without permission.
You can't do work without permission, and you cannot assume that they're dead until they're 110 years old. Once somebody's 110 years old, you can assume they're dead. Family Search will let you add them without a death date. If they're younger than 110, you have to provide death information.
But they could be collecting Social Security.
Hmm?
They could be collecting Social Security.
Yeah, as long as they're at least less than 150 years old.
Oh,
They
they're
collect Social Security.
actually, they had up to 350
There's
findings.
6.5 million over 112. still
Yes.
collecting. That's one of those findings. And there's really only 40 people in the world over 112. But 6.5 million dead people are collecting. I don't know who's getting the money. Anyway, next. So by clicking that, a little dot comes up and it identifies the people. See now there's 2 dots on some of these because this one is still highlighted. And now we've collected, died before age of 16. Why would that be significant?
They weren't married.
They would, if they're only 15 years old, they're probably, I mean, there might be some exceptions, but they're most likely not married and most likely have no children if they died before they were 16 years old. So you can mark all those and you can say, okay, that person has a yellow dot. I don't need to research that person to see if they have any children or a spouse because they died before they were even 16 years old. So that line's not going to extend anymore. Okay. The next is targets. What targets is it puts a pink dot by everybody who lived into their childbearing age, but there are no children in the chart. So these people probably very likely had children, unless they grew up and lived their whole life and never had children, which is possible. So these are people just from the free service that you can use that you might want to look at. You can look at these people and see if there are any record hints for them that have their children in them. If you click For example, we'll get to that in just a minute. These are the premium services. All of these other buttons are available free here at the Family Search Center, but you can't get them at home unless you've subscribed to the service, which is $39.95 a year. About $3.50 or something a month, but you have to pay for it by the year. Okay, now let's look at these services. Okay, there's a button for new person. What this shows is there's a record hint, and the software has gone into and looked at the record hint and said there's a person in here, a family member in here that is not in the chart. So it's found you a person that needs to be added to the chart and maybe needs to have their ordinances done. Okay, hints. It puts a dot by everybody who Family Search has identified a record hint for that person. Okay. Sources. It shows every person who has sources attached. And when Mozilla first came out, there were very few people with sources, because Family Search was rolling their system onto Family Tree, and the sources. I don't know if you remember how we sourced stuff in family group sheets. It was a little down at the bottom. We had abbreviations, about 4 abbreviations that nobody knew what any of those abbreviations meant. You'd use FN or CN or CS, or census was CS, and you didn't know what census it was. You didn't know what film it was. You didn't know anything. So we had to pretty much resource everything after we got to the digital age. Because all that old stuff was never sourced well enough to be able to track it. So this shows your sources. My changes, and you don't have to have done these changes in Mozilla. I don't know if you know it, but Family Search keeps track of every change you made in Family Search. And there's a place in Family Search where you can go back and look at all your changes. If you don't know how to do that, that's another lesson. But it keeps track of all your changes. And this button will show you every person on there that you've either created, added a source to, or made a change to some of their data. So you can go in and look at a chart of 4,000 people, turn on the dots and see all the ones that you have already worked on. Possible duplicates. Everybody knows what those are. It will put a dot by everybody that Family Search has identified a possible duplicate. And you can click on that dot and go right to the Family Search person page and see the duplicate right up there in the research hub. Ordinances. It will show you in that chart, and you can look at 3,000 people at once. Anybody in that chart that is missing ordinances,
Yeah.
you get a dot on it. And you'd be surprised how many people and all the temple files on there. So if there's a name in the temple file that you're related to, you can look on there and you can get that name off the temple file. You just get 90 days to do it instead of 2 years. Somebody submitted the name to temple file, it'll be on there and it'll have a time limit on how long you can reserve it. Anyway, tracking. Mozilla allows you to track your work. And that just shows people that you are tracking. So if you want to put somebody in the log and track them, this will show which ones you're tracking. And the status are the status symbols that you create yourself, your homemade symbols that you create in tracking your people. So now let's look at some of these one at a time. First, let's do record hints. This is the most important one because that's where you find new people. So when you click on this hints button, the record hints start loading. Now, I tried to simulate that in a slide, but if you are watching it happen in front of you when you do open a page, it kind of starts in the lower left corner and it goes around a thing like this, opening each person one at a time, checking for hints, putting a dot, checking for hints, putting a dot, checking a hint, putting a dot. It loads all the hints on that whole thing. If you've got a 3,000 page one, it might take 5 minutes. If you've got it down to 200, it'll do it in just a few seconds. Load all those hints for you on the chart and mark them. This is a simulation of kind of what it looks like. See how the little open dot, the open squares are the ones that's reviewing, and the solid ones are the ones where there's hints. So now everybody here on this chart that has a yellow dot still has record hints that need to be reviewed. And you thought it was all done. That's what I was told all my younger married years, our family history is done. When I did my 4 generations, submitted it, you know, the sheets, big sheets we had to submit, everybody on the whole sheet were members, all 4 generations back. All my ancestors for 4 generations back were all LDS. And they said, and all these people have already done all the family history, you're not gonna find any new names. And I went for years doing research and never found any names. But I found thousands using Brazil, thousands of new names. Okay. Because I'm looking at descendants too, so that's part of the reason. So the orange dots are the hints. My voice makes me start to cough if I'm losing my voice. Okay. So they're orange dots. And you say, well, family search uses, do they use blue? Why didn't they use blue? When Mozilla came out, family search was using orange dots for record hits. Did any of you remember that? They're the ones that changed. Mozilla stayed with the orange. Anyway, which of these hints might you like to look at? There's some here I'm kind of just pointing at here. Okay. In a census record, you might find missing children for people here that's a dead in line. They have no children. So if they're one of those record hints is a census, it might have new children in it that you haven't found before. See how easy it is to determine where you want to research? Okay. This person right here only has 1 child. If you can find another census that came after that child was born, you might find more children. So these are places that you can look, do research. Find a marriage record and you might find a spouse. Now these charts only show descendants. So some of these people might already have a spouse and it's just not showing, you can't see it on the chart. You have to open the person to see whether or not they have a spouse. But if you find a marriage record with this person listed as a spouse, you might find a spouse and maybe even the parents, because a lot of marriage records have parents' names on them. Okay. When you click on a person, right here, see that person? When you click on a person, those hints show up right here on the left. Now, these are the same hints that you see in Family Tree. If you will go, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So let's click on that 1950 census. If you click on the 1950 census right from Pozilla, it opens the family search review and attached page. You can go there in 1 click. From the family search page, it's sometimes 3 or 4 clicks before you can even get to this page. There you can review and attach that hint right there from Pozilla. Any questions on that?
So once it's attached, does it bring up this person needs ordinances done? Is that automatic?
No, you'll have to look at the ordinances tab in family search to see if they need ordinances.
But doesn't this have ordinances?
You can click that button and look at them too, yes. But we'll get to that in a minute. So when you do click on a person, you can go directly to their family search family tree page just by clicking here. Here's the family tree page for that person. And it opens in a new tab so you can close it and go back to where you were. And here are those same record hints that are in the other page, or that were in, and there's that 1950 census right there. Same one we just opened. If I click on it, we review and attach. This is the exact same review and attach page coming from Family Search as you got to coming from Pozilla. No difference in how you attach it or review it or anything. This is just another Family Search chart. Okay. There's also a button here. It says search on Family Search, and there's one for search on Find My Past. If you've got your Ancestry account linked to your Family Search account, if you click this, it will populate a search for you, adding all the information in Ancestry. And it'll put it in a new tab. You can look through all the, oops, I'm going ahead of myself. You can go through all the Ancestry stuff and look at, do a search just right from Pozilla, 1 click. And it fills it all in for you. All you have to do is click. It'll do the same for Find My Pass. If you've got your Find My Pass account linked. And if you don't have a Ancestry account, ask a Family History Center consultant and you can get a free one as a member of the church. And link it. Okay. You can turn on record hints in an ancestor chart too, not just a descendant chart. See, here's this is an ancestor chart. You see, in an ancestor chart, the end of the line shows no parents. On the descendant charts, it shows no children at the end of the line. So this person right here has a record hint. And if that record hint showed the parents, you may have just found the parents just by clicking on that and looking at that record hint. See if there's parents in that record hint. Okay. Now, this is another function that they added a few years ago. This wasn't originally in the program when it first came out. Search 10 records. What it will do when you click on that is it'll start down here in this bottom left corner here, and it'll start opening these hints up for you in tabs across the top.
Counterclockwise.
It starts at the bottom, goes around this way. It'll open 10 at a time. And I'll show you. This is kind of a simulation of what it looks like, but it really doesn't what it actually looks like, but it's real close. When you click on that, you start seeing these tabs open. See across the top, the tabs are opening and the different record hints are all loading. So search 10 hints just loaded for you 10 record hints from your family. You can go up here now, click on these tabs, review and attach all 10 of those record hints. And if you want to see who they are and all that, all the functions of review and attach page can show you everything you need to know about that person. And you can load all 10 of them, or you can research, look at all those hits, attach them, or say they're not a match, and then load 10 more and just keep right on going. You can go through hundreds of them in just a few minutes. Okay, now let's look at we've looked at the record hints. Now let's look at these other tabs. Okay, this is My Changes. When you click this, everybody with a purple dot is a person that you either added to the tree, or you added a source to the tree to that person, or you made some changes to their data, updated their data. Okay, you can see all those purple dots. I found this old slide from the 2015 presentation that I did back in 10 years ago. And this is a chart I showed as a sample of a descendant chart. This is my ancestor, Jacob Garlick. See the blanks here, the empty spaces. And every time these charts load, they might load twisted a different way. So you can't look at two side by side and say the exact same corner is the same people, but anyway. So I looked up this chart to see what it looks like in 2025. I clicked the button for My Changes. See all the purple dots? All those purple dots are people I either added to this chart or updated or added sources to. And you can see how that chart is filled in 10 years. Good work. My sister helped me do a lot of that. But nobody else seemed to be working on that particular line when we were doing it. We found thousands of names. Okay, temple ordinances. When you click this button, the green dots are people in the chart, and this is a current chart. There's that many people in this chart that don't have that have temple work available to reserve. That's what the green dot means. You could go click on any of those right now and put them in your reserve list and go to the temple work. See how many green ones are? You can look at the 3,000 descendants of one of your ancestors and see how many of them, and find all of them that are missing ordinances. You've got hundreds, thousands, possibly, of people that need their temple work done. And you haven't done any research at all. Somebody else already did that research. And the ones that were submitted to the temple file have a limited time frame that you can do them. That you can do the work, that you can reserve them for. Ones that non-members billions of non-members are working on this, that they've created by doing the research for you. They're just out there waiting for somebody to do the temple work for them because those non-members don't know anything about the temple work. They just put the people in there.
But their accounts don't have those options that say you need.
You have to have an LDS account to see
Get that.
the temple
Right.
options, right? And that's tied to your LDS account and having to do with the facility. Okay. Now, pink dots are people with sources. See, almost everybody in that chart has sources. And if you click on somebody in the chart, it shows the sources over here on the left panel. If you want to click on the source and it takes you to this page, which is the summary page. This is actually what's indexed here. You can click here and see the original document. You can click here and see the review and attach and see who this document's already attached to. Okay. Now I'll click on the new person tab. The new person tab is something that I don't use very often because it's so slow. Because what it has to do and for it to work is it has to open every single source, and look at every person on the source and see whether any of the relationships match. To show that there's a person in that vital record source that is not in the chart. So it looks at them one at a time, and on this chart right here, there may be 10 or 20,000 sources. And you have to load the whole chart, and you have to search the whole chart at once. But if you were going to use new person, you probably want to make a smaller chart. Don't try to do it on 3,000 people. Do it on 100 people, or 200 people. Okay, it does the same thing as when you click on it, as what it did when it loads. See how the open dot is where is the ones that the computer's working at, and down in the lower right corner, those are little pop-up windows where software pops up, looks at all the stuff, closes the window, pops up another one, looks at those. So the software is doing all this work all the way around the chart. And with this big of a chart, that would probably take an hour or two to review the chart. So if you're going to use that function, use it on a small chart. I let it run all the way through on this chart and only found one person, one of the sources that had a new person in it. That's partly because if you look at that chart, a lot of people have been working on that chart because all those sources and all those changes and everything are already on there. But anyway, there's one person in this chart. When you click on it, the new person hints are over here and the regular hints are right below it down here. So this hint right here has people in it that are identified by relationship that are not in the chart. And since it's a genealogy obituary, they probably don't have birthdays, so you probably can't put them in anywhere. But you know the names of them. You know the children's name and their parents' name, and you can, if it's a parent and the child has got the age of the child, you know the parent's old enough, you can add that person, but then you got to go find their birth and death information somewhere else, because that some obituaries it shows their age and some it doesn't. Some very seldom does it show their place of birth. Okay. Now let's look at possible duplicates. When you click on the possible duplicates, you get a little blue dot. There's one right there. There's some others over here. We'll see, you'll see this better in a minute. Okay. You click on that, takes you to the family tree. You have to click on it and then click the person page. That's where you will see possible duplicate, and you rectify it in the same way you would in family search, because you are in family search. Okay. Now this is a search button. With the search button, you can do your own custom search. So in this search button, I'm going to type main right here and do a search. What it will do, oop, I skipped back. Go back a step here. Everybody with a teal colored dot has main somewhere in their location. So they've either lived there or born there or died there. And this is customizable. You can do almost any kind of personal search you want to do. Next, it's the log. The log is just for you to be able to come back to somebody that you want to come back to later. So see this person right here, they got some record hints there that I want to come back to, and I want to come back to them because there's a black dot. There's a new person. I want to review it, but I don't have time to do it right now. So I'm going to log this person. When you log it, it fills out all of this for you. The ID number, the name of the person, and their lifespan. You can type in anything you want to under next or notes, and you can use these 5 triangles for anything you want to use them for. I use them for different things. So I can log by clicking log. It automatically puts Nathan in my log. Now, some other day when I come back to Pozilla, all I have to do to go back to Nathan is click the log, click his ID, a descendant chart, and that starts with him. Here's his descendants. See all of them that still have record hints. And these, I've turned these lights on, these dots on.
So you've got
The black
three
ones.
black ones,
The
3
black
ones.
ones are running the, this small of a chart doesn't take very long to run a new person search. There's 3 new people in that chart, plus all these people. There could be more hints in some of these other vital records that could lead you to new people too, but okay. That's what the log is. Now, here's a new person in that log. If you click on them, move back here, going the wrong way. Nope, I'm still going the wrong way. Okay, this person. You click on it, and here is the new person hint. You can click on that and review that record and see the new person that is in that record here. Now, status dot, we're almost out of time, so I'm gonna have to hurry. The status dot shows a dot. It shows these triangles. Those are the triangles that you personally mark in your log, and they can mean whatever you want them to mean. So this status, my violet triangle, which I attach, means that I want to come back and research the descendants. My black dot means that it reminds me that Pozilla found a new person in this descendant line, and I want to go back and look for it. Okay. Now, you can toggle off all of these and just look at it one at a time if you want to. So if you select just one person, you can see just searches for that one person. All the rest are not highlighted. You notice just the search stuff were highlighted, the rest are dim. Okay, so here is new person chart with just new person only and all the others turned off. See the one black dot? Okay, here's the record hints. Just the record hints are showing. Here's the sources. Just the ones that are have sources. Here's the ones from Maine in the search that a personal search that I created myself. Here's my changes in this chart, all of them with the purple or people I've added or changed. Okay, possible duplicates. See, there's one there, one there, one there. Okay, ordinances needed. This chart, see all the people with the green dots, all need their ordinances done. Tracking. There's only 2 people that are in my log on this chart. Those 2 right there. And status, that's the status symbols that I've made for myself to tell me what the status is of those 2. I could just click the log and go like click. Okay, targets. This is one of the free services. These are dead ends where they have no children. If you look at targets in an ancestral chart, it'll show you everybody that has no parents. But in a descendant chart, everybody who childbearing age with no children. Died before age 16, these are end of lines. They're not going to extend because these people died before they could have children. Might be an exception, so a 15-year-old, but not very. often. These were born in the last 110 years. All these people are dead, but they're born in the last 110 years, so you can't. They're not in the chart if they're dead. I mean, unless they're dead. Somebody's determined they were dead, or they added them to the chart without knowing and said they were dead, but they really weren't dead, which you're not supposed to do. Okay. You can also go up into the function of the browser and do a zoom in the browser. You can do this with any web page. Zoom into 150% so you can see everything is bigger. And you can use your mouse to scroll in and move that chart around in this window here. This window. You can zoom in and out by rolling the roller wheel on your mouse. You can zoom in and out, and you can drag by holding the mouse button down and drag the chart around and look at it. Okay. So you can find and review record hints faster using Priscilla. And that is the end of the slide presentation. It's time for you guys to go out, try it out. Any questions?
You blocked out one section.
All I did is hide it on that one chart,
Uh-huh.
and it has a little plus right next to the person who is hit. Okay, if you click that person, unhide it. That's just so you can make the chart small. Okay.
I was wondering if you could go back through the steps that for enabling the pop-up so that you can all actually read it. That might take too long right now.
It won't take too long. There's actually a handout for how to do that
Oh,
on the webpage for last time I taught this. I taught this lesson, except I taught a lot more extensive version of this last 6 months ago, on that presentation is all on the website. And one of the handouts for that are these slides showing. Okay,
Privacy.
so 3 dots is the menu.
Mhm.
You see, I'll make it full screen again.
where are you starting?
These 3 dots are in your browser.
Mhm.
That is the menu. Then you go to settings. Then when you click on settings, you go to privacy and security, which pops up. This screen pops up when you hit settings.
Sites.
Under privacy and security, this window here comes up when you click on privacy and security. Site settings is at the very bottom. You click on that and then pop-ups are at the bottom of that. And then in the pop-up menu, you just scroll down to where it says allowed to do pop-ups and click add. This thing's in the way. Okay.
So we want to allow.
You want to allow Family Search and Mozilla to do pop-ups. Any other website you use often that does pop-ups or does the pop-ups things into other tabs, you want to allow them to do it too. And you're not going to get ads and stuff from Mozilla or from Family Search. They're not going to give you bad pop-ups.
Yes, couple questions. What's the origin of the name Bazilla?
I don't.
Who was it? Is it a man? Is it a company?
It's
Over the church?
It's
Yes,
developed by a group of guys who are really heavy into family history, and they developed it for themselves. And then so many people liked it that they made it available as a subscription service.
If it's as great as we think it is, why hasn't the church bought them out, just incorporated it in?
They've partnered with all kinds of people. They've been partnered with it for years. It's been available for years. In fact, when you go to the Family Search Center here and turn on the computer, Mozilla is one of the premium options that's shown right there on the screen for you to use.
Is Mozilla incorporated also into Ancestry?
It will take you there for a search, but it doesn't do the same thing in Ancestry
Why is that?
because it's written for Family Search. It's written for people who do temple work. That's the reason.
One last question. What is it about Mozilla that enhances the family search experience for you?
For me, it just lets you do stuff a lot faster. I can sit down in Fazilla in an hour, I can review maybe 200 record hints. And in family search, it takes me several minutes to even open one. You have to go up a chart, you have to find, go up this chart, then you have to come down this chart.
It speeds
Look
up
all
the
over.
process then.
It shows you hundreds or thousands of people at once, and you can pick where you want to research.
Okay.
You can go say the end of lines, and I want to research end of lines, so look at all these targets.
I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to really quickly find my relative and see how I'm related to you.
Oh,
Okay, so,
anybody else want to see if they're related to me? We're turning on relatives around us.
They would you or each other.
Or anybody else in here, yeah.
well, we already knew that. We're eighth cousins.
I'm related to both of you.
Yeah.
And I'm related to ninth cousin to Emily and 10th cousin to Jerry.
And Jerry's not popping up.
I haven't got it found yet.
And
Is it under activities?
I just go into my tree and I do this, the pancake for the lower relationship. So I just search. 7 more, right? Everyone's.
I've done a lot of times with this one. I thought it was under activities.
Tree.
Oh, in the tree? No, I didn't go under the tree. So I didn't go under the tree.
On your trees. And then it should say more, so.
Well, you're.
It should say more. You don't have a bunch that says more.
All right.
I thought I saw us not here, but one that it said. Yes, that's it. No songs.
Mine's an apple. I know, when I looked in there, it's in there somewhere, I just don't know where to find it. I thought it was under activities.
All activities, does it say relatives around me? No. It should, at the top it says search historical record, find a person.
I just started typing.
We're not famous enough, that's our whole thing. Because we've got to be pretty.
I've done this lots of times and it's always been here, I don't know why it's
We've got to
not.
be closely related. If you're related to Ichabod Rollins and the Garlicks, I'm related to Garlicks too.
Cedar tree.
Want me in the middle?
Yeah.
Yours is an apple. Well, it should just have a thing at the bottom that says more.
You and I? How so? How do you know that?
Okay, this is you. Next to it, that's my ground, that's my line right there.
Okay, so,
Hatch. I'm a hatch. My mother's a hatch.
okay, so,
This is the line right here that's related, but that's the common.
So I gotta get in a family search, familysearch.org.
okay,
Let's
so,
see.
so what's your mom's name?
Melody Hatch.
Melody?
We work through George Andrew.
And when I go to this,
How we get back to this is George
You
Andrew.
just show me your phone. How you do it.
Are you, you see one?
Okay.
Are you in George Andrew? You're at.
my great grandfather.
Okay. Is, I'm through, you know, on my own.
So the Rollins, are you related to Enoch or Ham Rollins?
Yep. They're all
Are
the
you
same.
related to Sydney Marcus and Sophia Rollins?
Mhm.
So we've got to be really, really
Really
close,
close.
really close. If you could find that thing that says relative, I'm sure we would.
Okay, there is my mother,
Your mother's name is what?
Eloise Doreen Hatch, and my grandfather is Sisson.
Anyway.
who is the son
Sisson,
of-
Sisson, did you know,
No, I
did
don't
you know
know.
Betty Ross?
We could, we have to.
Okay, so Sisson is my grandma's name.
Yeah. So if Sisson is your grandma's brother,
So if I had the
she,
apple.
Sisson is my
And you have
grandfather.
your apple on.
Sisson's your grandfather.
He's my grandfather.
His daughter was Betty. Betty is my mom's grandmother.
Sisson's daughter or
Sisson, he's, well, no,
Jack?
no, sorry, he's Lyman's daughter. He's Lyman's daughter, not
Oh,
Sisson.
It's George Andrews' sister. Is your grandmother? Great grand.
My grandmother is Sarah Hatch and her brother was Sisson.
So Sarah is your grandmother
Sarah is my grandmother.
and Sisson is my grandfather.
11 cousins.
Okay,
So-
so,
So that makes us second cousins.
so here's my grandma right here.
Mhm.
And if I go into her tree,
And then it's through my,
her dad is George Andrew, so,
through my dad.
so Sisson is her brother.
Is
actually through my dad.
that different? Usually it's through your dad or?
Yeah.
My
We-
dad's side has the most.
Your grandma is my uncle, my
Okay.
great uncle.
My mom's side.
And
Great aunt. And
so,
our mothers are first cousins.
Yeah, it's.
My mother, her
Okay,
father or mother. but it's your
my,
mother.
my mother is
Some of it's
Crystal
done.
Martin.
Yes.
and
Which one
There
is
was a
that?
person that
My
stopped.
grandma
somebody.
is Sarah Hatch.
Your grandma's Sarah Hatch. So you're, which one of your parents
My
Your-
mom,
is from Sarah?
yeah,
Okay, so your mom and my mom are first cousin,
Contact that person.
or second cousin.
and it's
You
Eloise,
know, have it,
Eloise.
someone added
LD Hatch.
my
She's our-
great
Eloise
grandmother,
Hatch.
grandmother.
She's
again.
first cousin to your mother.
Do you
She's
know,
from
Already
Alabama.
in there.
Do you know,
Added her to-
Jan Bocat?
Oh, that's my
Because
grandma.
I think she has like
Added her,
Eloise.
but no, good- no ancestors.
Well,
And
I've
so-
never seen another LD, except for descendants of my mother.
So I went into her and found out.
Daughter,
she was
granddaughter,
okay.
next
Well,
window.
when George Andrew and Sabra next day, when they lived in Peshura, I think it's when they lived in Peshura. Well, they had, I don't know what it was, some kind of really infectious disease, typhoid fever or something. And he lost his oldest son, George. or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
And so she comes down to.
My mother was born in Fisher.
Okay, well, my.
I have something before we hear
It
you.
was Sisson's house, which was
Was
across
that
the
a good
street,
thing?
was across the street from. City, town hall. That's right across the street. Yeah, right now they tore it down in this fire station, but that's where.
Okay.
All right, Jerry, I'm on.
Fine.
How many were you? I got the app downloaded, so there it is.
Well, small world, Jerry.
Yeah, we're second cousins.
We're second cousins.
So to
He and I
get-
are together.
That's-